my company, we value individual differences. The differences between people include background, education, generation, thinking and working style, ability and technical skills. Our culture is all about creating an environment where we can, each of us, the people, we can bring the differences to the workplace together, so that we can bring our personal best to the company. We believe that by thinking and acting differently, we can contribute to the growth of the company. Yes, I used to have a chance to work with an American client. The first difficulty that I encountered when working with them is the language barrier. When I first met an American, I was having difficulties understanding his accent, his intonation, his speed of speaking. So it was a little bit difficult to catch up with his ideas and understand what he really meant. After that, to overcome the problem, I tried to improve my English. I learned from reading a lot of newspapers. I listened to international news on BBC or CNN. I try to communicate with other foreigners as I have a chance. In my opinion, the American working style is quite casual and informal. Most of them are often punctual, and they leave the office on time too. They are competitive, and they think that they are unique. They are willing to express their unique ideas, and even though the ideas may go against the whole group, they are quite supportive too. They do not hesitate to help out other co-workers. They are very enthusiastic about their work, and they always try to improve themselves every day. They are more interested in the future working results rather than the past. I used to have a chance to work with a group of Japanese. There are quite a few differences between Americans and Japanese. Firstly, the Americans are very quick in making decisions. The supervisors allow the subordinates to decide and make decisions on their behalf. On the other hand, the Japanese decision-making process depends on the company's hierarchy. The Japanese only make decisions after a lot of meetings and documentation between the subordinates and the supervisors. It may take longer time, but it also minimizes the mistakes that they can make along the way. Secondly, the Americans emphasize the role of an individual. They think that the contribution of an individual is important to the growth of the company, and they highly recognize the contribution of each individual. On the other hand, the Japanese also require individual contribution to the whole group. However, if the whole group isn't successful in what they do, the contribution of each individual has no meaning. Finally, one difference I have seen during the time working with them is that the Americans gives priority to their work-life balance. They value their family and their personal time. They often leave the office on time, so they try to wrap up their work within working hours. On the other hand, for the Japanese, work is the center of their life. They are constantly under high pressure to achieve better work results, so they spend a lot of time working, even working overnight. As a result, they do not have time for their family or their personal hobbies. I think I prefer working with the Japanese. They never miss a deadline, and their results of work are often excellent too.
First, I want to thank you for spending time with us. Yeah.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Wasting time no more, I will just move to the first question.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The first question is, can you describe your workplace culture in just 3 words or maybe 5 words?
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to tell you that my workplace culture is a little bit strange because I'm the only one who works for my organization. Although my office is here at National Economics University, I work for California State University San Bernardino. So I'm a one-person office. Of course, I have some Vietnamese colleagues as well who work out here. But a lot of what I do, I'm working by myself or with the teachers that we have in our program. So anyway, what I strive for in my own small environment in this office here is, because I'm in charge of the English program, I'm striving for academic excellence for our students, and I'm striving for the environment to be organized and punctual. And I hope that that also is something that we can help our students strive for as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so you can see the camera. So I will ask you a second question. Can you tell me your difficulties when your very first time you met a Vietnamese college, and how do you communicate with them, and do you and how do you bridge the difficult when you met?
Yeah, I have actually been here for 9 years. I'm in my 10th year now, and when I first arrived here, I was working through the U.S. Embassy on various teacher training projects and with the Ministry of Education. And I've had 3 different jobs since I've been in Vietnam. So it's a very long time ago to think about what my first interaction was in the Vietnamese workplace. But I do remember being quite surprised that sometimes somebody would arrange a meeting with me, but then I was the only one that showed up.
I know.
Or right before the meeting, while I was sitting in the room waiting, I would get a text message saying, "Oh, meeting cancelled." So that was, I'm used to that now, but I was quite surprised by that in the beginning. In terms of language, I've been teaching international students almost all my life, so I'm used to a lot of different accents, and I don't think that the Vietnamese accent really was a big problem for me, at least not in Hanoi, not in the big cities. When I've traveled outside Hanoi to the provinces, it's been more of an issue because the level of language is much lower. So I feel that, actually I think the level of English in Hanoi is much, much higher amongst young people than it used to be. So that's, you're all really doing a great job.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. So, to the third question, and what do you think about Vietnamese working style? Just the punctual or the meeting style?
Yes, there are obviously some differences. I worked at a university in the United States for almost 20 years, and the style of work is quite a lot different from the style in Vietnam, but there are things that both of them have in common. Obviously, I'm not saying anything new here, but punctuality is a problem. It's a problem with my students who tend to show up late. It's a problem for colleagues who show up late for meetings or cancel at the last minute. So that is an issue which I'm constantly trying to address. But there are also a lot of students and a lot of my colleagues who are always on time or even early. So not everybody is late. Some people are consistently late and some people are consistently early. And that's probably true in many cultures as well. Another thing that I've noticed is that in the United States, we tend to have work hours that are quite strict. So we work from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night. The evenings are hours.
Yeah.
It's personal time. The weekends are hours. That's personal time too. But here, we don't have those boundaries. So quite often, I get a call or an email, in the evening, wanting something urgently, or 6 o'clock in the morning, or at the weekend. So that's quite different. Sometimes I follow the request, but sometimes if I'm out of town or busy, then it has to wait until Monday.
Yeah, that's your right.
Often there's a late notification about something. So, for example, when I'm trying to make my schedule for the English program, I never really know what's going on with the academic program until the last minute. Things tend to change a lot. But I'm used to that. So I know that when I make my schedule, I probably am going to have to change it. So not a huge problem. Another thing I think is, it's not always clear to me if I ask a question or if I need something, if the answer is yes or no or maybe. Sometimes what I think is yes is actually a no, or the other way around, so that can be a bit confusing for foreigners. I think I've mostly got it worked out now, but certainly in the beginning it's a bit confusing.
Yeah.
So those are the main issues, I think.
Yeah. When you met the uncomfortable situation like that, you just have to accommodate yourself.
Yeah. I've learned that you have to be flexible working here, and you have to be adaptable, and that's just the way it is. And things work quite well so long as you are prepared to be flexible and adaptable.
Yeah, I agree with you. Totally agree with you. And to the foreign question, I want to ask you if you have ever worked with another foreign college other than Vietnamese people.
I have. In the United States, I worked with many faculty and office workers from different countries.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's really ever been a major problem. Sometimes English is an issue because I think that I'm making myself clear, but to somebody from another culture, even though my words maybe were understood, what is behind the words maybe was not understood. So sometimes there's an issue of comprehensibility. Not necessarily the words, it's the things behind the words, the culture.
Just the misunderstanding.
That requires more explanation.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I actually think it's really interesting for me and many other people to work with people of different cultures. And know that although we're different in some ways, we're alike in many other ways.
Yeah.
It makes our lives interesting, I think, to work with people from different cultures.
So in comparison with the other college from other countries with Vietnamese people, can you tell me something that really special about Vietnamese?
Well, I think both Vietnamese students and Vietnamese colleagues and people I meet everywhere in Vietnam are, generally very, very friendly and helpful, and have wonderful smiles that make you feel happy. Not all cultures are as friendly or as enthusiastic as Vietnamese are, and I think that's one of the things that many foreigners appreciate about working in Vietnam. Yes, there are challenges, but the people and the friendliness here can help you overcome the challenges.
Make you happy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to the final question, do you love working in Vietnam?
Yes, I've been here 9 years, and I'm on my 3rd job, so that indicates that yes, I do like working here. Like any job, anywhere in the world, some days are better than other days, but on the whole, I feel lucky actually to be working here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that you would just have to do it.
Or just have to do it. No, I don't have to do it. It's my choice.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very appreciate
Okay.
that. Thank
All
you.
right. I hope it works out and it's clear.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks.